Hello, everyone. I'm Plasma Warriors. You like to call me that guy with the Afro. Okay, this isn't my usual Good News Friday post. This is something a little bit different. So bear with me because it's just got this pretty much in the last maybe 2 days. So getting to the general idea of what I'm posting about, there was a convention. Was a 1 day anime convention called Mizuumi Con that happened at Our Lady of the Lake University in San Antonio. And it decided to transition itself to be combined with a gaming group and kind of work together to mix up, a bigger collaborant, make a 3 day convention. I made a post about the review on my actual Facebook page, but then we get down to the point. There were some issues with the location and some of the things that happened there. So they decided to kind of, I think, break up that group, generally speaking, the gaming side at least, and focus more on the anime. And so they decided to come back next year in April for their 1 day event. Again, this seems like the same group. It's called the Otaku Fellowship Society of the San Antonio or something. I can't really tell if it's just Otaku Fellowship Society or does it have some other. It just says Otaku Fellowship Society on their Facebook page, but again, I can't tell if it's like, oh, it's just San Antonio or something else. Point being, they made this convention and they made the one that was previous with this combination of a game convention. So I want to make sure we understand this is the same group, but it's not doing the same thing as it used to do. So at least last year, I went to that one and it was okay. It wasn't bad. Could have been better, especially there wasn't really any console gaming. There were some like demos, but nothing that popped out at you. The RPG gaming was phenomenal. I mean, they had tabletop crazy, and I really liked it. For that aspect, I think that was amazing. So, what does this mean realistically? Well, let's start off by looking at what Mizuumi Con is basically saying. I did have the link right there. It's basically in a part of town known as Crossroads area. It has its own kind of mall, and there have been a lot of specialty shops in said mall. I believe they opened up just a few months ago another tabletop game place. This is going to be a theme, by the way. If you hear me say tabletop, it's for a good reason because there's a lot of it. And this area is very well known for a lot of kind of, I wouldn't say game or anime or culture, but kind of shops that are real specialty stores, not just at the mall, but in the surrounding area. Dragon's Lair is not too far down the road from this place. And it really shows that there's a lot more to have other than just anime, cosplay, this and that. I believe there's actually can't remember what it's called, but they also have a what is it? RC car track, like those remote control cars. Yeah, what was on slot cars? That's what it's called. Slot cars. They actually have that kind of shop in the mall. They also have a specialty store that deals with K-pop, which I remember the name, but I know the owner pretty well. They're a very good owner of that store, and yeah, there's a lot of things that are kind of specialty within the mall and around surrounding areas. And this is actually back to this 1 day route, which I do understand. It's going to be Saturday. The price is very inexpensive for a Saturday only event. It's only $20 right now. So why is this so important? Well, three big reasons why it's so important. One, it's basically in that place where Nine Tails is. That's basically Justin Surface's shop. And anyone who's been having to deal with that guy knows the less you deal with him, the better. And this is a separate group from San Japan. And it's basically in his backyard. So that's a real big kind of, here you are, here's where we're going to be, ha, moment. I don't think they planned it that way, but that's what it looks like. It's not like it's an evil, boo, you're trying to get back at somebody. Because again, there's been a lot of things we can say and left not said about what Ninetales has been doing. So we're going to get that out of the way. Number two, it's in a place that's actually reachable. Last time they tried to put this on, I even live on the side of town that hotel they had it at was. I could barely get to it on the bus. It shouldn't take me 2 hours to get from here to that spot, but it did. And it's really hard to reach. Like I said, that was one of my main criticisms when they had that event last year, around this time of year, November actually, was that it was so far away from even me that it just couldn't fathom going there for more than a few hours. Um, it was just the distance was too great for most people, and they learned that lesson. That was one of my big criticisms. So I applaud them for that. Good job. The third point about it is, again, when you're in those specialty shops, you draw a lot of eyeballs really quickly in that area. You can basically, I mean, I don't expect a lot of people. I don't expect a ton of members, but that place is kind of like the second. It's like, the Galleria, and you say Houston, it's not that high-end fancy, but you can draw people to that spot, kind of like the Galleria. Again, not super special. It's not, I mean, North Star Mall is basically, what I can tell, San Antonio's Galleria. It's a very big place, considering there's not that many malls, quote unquote, in San Antonio that really pop out at you. But Crossroads is really connectable to everything. That's why I call it Crossroads. It's between I-10 and 410, basically. So you've got people coming in and out of that area pretty easily. It's not like Houston. The traffic is horrible in that area. You can get in and out, no problem. It's really accessible. So I really like it for those reasons, basically. But there's a big problem. A problem that I don't think any convention since, ironically, the last one they had has been addressing, and that's in terms of gaming. I don't see very much here yet. They said there was going to be gaming going on, but again, console gaming last year was just almost non-existent. I hate to say it with a straight face, but their tabletop was amazing. Their console gaming was absolutely horrible. So you either have to be a hardcore gamer in a general sense to be there and understand what's going on, or C, you got to have a lot of demos, and you got to have people who are willing to demo it. Again, Munchkin, you're going to find all over the place. You can find anyone who plays Munchkin or Flux. It's really easy to play one of those two. But in general, there's not much there that was anything you could just plug and play. I mean, the tabletop gaming, the RPGs that were there were amazing. I'll give it that. But I don't know if that's going to transition well this time, because they didn't exactly have the standout thing that people would just jump in, play, and be done with. So I think that would be something I would like to see addressed, but it's not going to be it's not much you can do. It's a one-day event, so you might not get a lot of people to go on there if they're RPG heavy. I don't know if you're going to do D&D Encounters or Pathfinder Society. That's going to be tricky. You're going to have to check, but it's not out of the realm of possibility either. The biggest point I want to make, though, about Mizuumi Con is I don't get the negativity from them as much as I do, say, a San Japan. I mean, I never felt like it was a bad thing to just say, hi, we run this show, or hello, want to join us? On the same end, I don't think they do enough to outreach to everything else. Again, I've said this for years, and it's getting even more true now. You just saw last Friday, Tabletop Generals just opened a store here, and that's basically, I think, the third store that I know of this in the last year. Multiverse Games, there was one in the Wonderlands Mall that did gaming as well, and this is the third one that I know of that's open this year. There could be more that do tabletop, but I'm saying it now. I said it back then, and I still don't know why. It's been at least 2 years. I think I said this about uh, one event, and I think in 2016, in Christmas time. If you're not doing gaming as a convention in San Antonio, you're in trouble. And now it seems like I'm getting more and more right every single month. It's no longer just, oh, well, he just said that because he's a gamer. By this point, with all the shops that are opening up in San Antonio and they are still going pretty well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like how Tabletop Generals runs themselves pretty well. I think they're gonna be very successful in small space and all because of the location. I just feel like people are making this big mistake not trying to get the gaming operable. I don't know why that is. How can that not be possible? I think they can do it at Mizuumi Con, but it's going to be a real stretch. I don't know how much space they have. I know they've done it before, so that's not a question. They can do it again. It's just one-day conventions are really hard. What I would recommend, and this is me just talking as a gamer to people who probably aren't as heavy in gaming, what I would recommend in this case would be pretty much don't just go advertise in the shops, because you go advertise in a shop, oh, here's another convention. So what? I go to 5 a year at least. One of them out of state. So yeah, big deal. What they need to do is start gaming in these places. And I'm actually going to recommend it more in San Antonio than I do anywhere else. I'm not just talking a game night. No, I mean, you can have a game night anytime. I'm talking actually sit down and play some Warhammer 40K or some Pathfinder Society, or heck, I'm willing to run different RPGs if I can get people to play them too. It's not a big deal. I think the problem is they're not so willing to do it as, I don't know if you need a staff member. I mean, some representative of some kind, obviously. I think that's the biggest one glaring issue, is that these guys might know gamers, but they're not really gaming. And in San Antonio, again, like I keep saying, you're already pretty much behind the 8 ball. I've never seen a convention except for last year's, well, one shot, I guess you could call it. I've never seen a convention actually go out and try to make gaming as a viable option, which I think you're already too late. I think I'm going to be very honest with you. If Multiverse Games calls me tomorrow and say, hey, you want to run a gaming event kind of convention thing, I jump right on it. Basically, that's the problem. It's already been at least 2 years since I made that post, and now it's even harder to see it going upwards. I just think it's already too late, but you can still do something. I mean, the gaming craze isn't going to die out anytime soon in San Antonio. I doubt that's going to happen. Just look at, again, tabletop starting to bring in a little bit more of San Japan, I think, from last year. Dragon's Lair has always been big. They opened another location just this year, until they make it 4. But Dragon's Lair is kind of more like a comic store as well. I just feel like the one problem conventions in San Antonio haven't addressed is the gaming side is stronger than the anime side. That's the big issue. I don't know how San Japan has missed that, but for Mizuumi Con, it could be a big opportunity. Again, it's something you've got to keep in mind of. There's not just one game night. You have to actually go and play the games. And I'm not talking every single day or every single week. I mean, Pathfinder Society alternates its locations once every other week on Saturday. You can easily find something to do on one of those 2 places. I'm just saying there's so much wasted opportunity that I think needs to be addressed. And I'm going to say it outright. The more you can address that, sometime probably within the next, I would say, because of the way the holiday season is, you might want to address it during November. It's hard to do that now because everyone is on the push for Onicon. Again, shameless plug for my home con. I will be there on Friday, October 9th through Sunday, Friday, November 9th through Sunday, November 11th. I'm so used to Onicon being on the weekend of or before Halloween. That's Onicon for you. We had it one year just before Christmas because of Hurricane Ike, but I digress. Basically, it's that wonderful time of year where it's all about fandom. For Houston and San Antonio's got, again, Alamo City Comic Con, so it's really hard to do it now because people are just gearing up for other things. But I really think they can do it during the next month and a half. I mean, Black Friday would be perfect. Yeah, I haven't seen a Black Friday event. And I'm just saying MizuumiCon has the opportunity. Now, let me go through a few of their little quips here before I end this video. First off, I don't know what their panel submission is, but it's by email exclusively to somebody, which isn't a terrible thing. They also have you email pretty much for cosplay guests again. That's not a terrible thing. They're not accepting any character Q&A panels. I actually don't mind that. I think sometimes we overblow the character Q&As, such as there's so many Homestuck panels. Okay, cool. Let's move off of that for a bit and try to get a little bit more into detail about other things, such as I wouldn't say it's Q&A because I understand that's different, but I would like to see a little bit more, let's say, informational panels. I don't think people would really put that out very much. I do an informational panel about how to volunteer for convention or what you should be doing with it, but that's on another story for another day. Basically, cancellations here. What I really like, though, is they actually have people submit work if they want to be like an idol guest or DJ. I like that because you have to show that you're capable of performing something really good. So I like that idea. Price right now, like I said, $20. No refunds for any reason. That's okay. I mean, you're not gonna have to worry about refunds per se this far in advance. One thing that's really getting to me, though, it's getting me a little bit of a problem, is even though it's not posted on their website, they say they're going to extend the registration for artists and dealers till the end of next week, I believe. And then they're going to just draw a random lottery, I believe, after that. Well, it's October, and their event's not until April. That gives you, I think, let me do the quick math. That gives you 6 months between then and the convention. That's a very wide window. I would never consider it more than 3 of a window. That's just all of a sudden things change. That's too wide of a window to say, hey, by the way, we got you in and we got you in, you got you in. Now we need you to get ready 6 months in advance. It's a pretty wide window. Again, people have to make money, so I understand both edges of that, but it's kind of a high-end window. Now, from what I'm seeing, this doesn't look like it's going to be a bad event. I don't think MizuumiCon is going to be in trouble anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be a horrible, nightmarish issue. I think it's just not enough information for me to give you my judgment of really yet, but I think it's going to be okay. I'm not worried about the people who run it. They do a decent job, at least trying to get things together. So that's not a worry. My only concerns would be the gaming side. It's going to have to be addressed somehow. And again, it's kind of like, I don't know if I would be a vendor and want to be that wide out of a window. I think it's a little too much. Otherwise, I think they're going to be okay. I don't think it's going to be a bad thing. Any good convention, any new convention, good convention, or whatever, is always beneficial. So, again, I just feel like it's gonna be okay. You're not gonna worry about it. I just wish I could do a little bit more information before I say go gun ho. Um, but no, it's not bad for what you're getting to see. And again, if you like this, like, share, subscribe, and consider donating to my PayPal because, as I keep saying, I'm just one guy in my bedroom with a webcam. I could always do better. In any case, later.